everyone, my name's Autumn and I work to tell the stories of our students and alumni here at Ashworth College. Today I'm so excited to be talking with our graduate of the year, Brittany Garcia, who completed our Healthcare Administration Associate Degree program and our Healthcare Management Bachelor's Degree program. Welcome, Brittany.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us. Brittany, I want to kick it off by asking the big question, how does it feel to be our graduate of the year?
Honestly, it's still pretty surreal. It's it's so hard to describe exactly how I feel. I mean, I don't think it's quite sunk in yet, but I mean that the best way that I can describe it besides being surreal is just an overwhelming sense of pride.
Absolutely, and you should be so proud. So, how did you celebrate the news once you found out you won?
How did I celebrate the news? My goodness. Autumn, I think I received your email. It was probably about 15 seconds, and I called my husband literally sobbing. I was like, he couldn't even understand me what I was saying. I was like, babe, I won, I won, I won. And he was like, you did not. I mean, he's in the military, so he was working on a jet, I presume at the time. That's what he does. He's a jet engine mechanic. And he ran off the flight line, and he was just so excited for me. So besides calling my husband as soon as possible, I took a well deserved break. I was supposed to start my graduate program July 12th, and I told him, I was like, listen, I was like, I think I just kind of want to relax this summer. I was like, I don't need dinner, I don't need flowers. I was like, give me a month off. And that's basically how I celebrated.
That's a good way to celebrate. You have been working really hard, so a month off is truly deserved.
Oh, that's not too.
So, Brittany, why is earning the Graduate of the Year title such an honor for you?
Oh my goodness, I have multiple answers to that question, but the one that sticks out the most would be, I mean, I am the first woman in my family to have graduated college, so not only graduating in under 2 years, that's an honor in itself, but to have also received this title, it's just, I mean, cherry on top is a bit underwhelming to describe that, but I would say that it's just the cherry on top to everything that I've earned. It's an incredible feeling.
It is, and I know you have such an incredible story, and you and your family have been through a lot, so it is truly, truly deserved. What
Thank
obstacles, speaking of been through a lot, what obstacles did you overcome to get here?
Oh my goodness. Should I just start at the beginning?
Might as well.
Yeah, right. Well, a couple of years ago, I was working as a leasing agent at the time, and I mean, I had just gotten a promotion. I was fully anticipating just kind of staying there, and like I had previously stated in my podcast interview, a devastating hurricane hit our town, and I mean, literally destroyed everything. We had just bought our house. I think we had paid our mortgage payment October 1st, and the hurricane hit somewhere around October 10th. It was devastating to say the very least. And when that happened, my husband, who's active duty military, they of course put us on evacuation orders. We were going from hotel to hotel, condo to condo, and I had just found out I was pregnant as well. So there was that little bit of a stressor there as well. Um, but during that time, I had lost my job as well. So that I had put all my eggs in one basket, thinking I was going to be there for, the entirety of my daughter's young life at least. And whenever we got orders to Anchorage, Alaska from Panama City, Florida, that was a bit of a shock. So we were planning on making a cross-country trip. We had decided that I was just going to be a stay-at-home mom, and that was certainly not in the plan. I mean, I'm certainly blessed to have been given that opportunity, but that was not in our plan. So traveling cross-country, trying to figure out one, how to be a new mom as well, and figuring out a new college schedule was certainly not easy. It was difficult, but it was absolutely not unattainable. So I would say that the biggest obstacles that I had to face was one, absorbing the news of that traumatic disaster, and then also coming to terms with leaving my hometown, my family, everybody to going cross country to starting a new life in Alaska and a new college schedule. That's
Yeah, a lot of challenges. And how do you feel about yourself now?
Oh my goodness, the amount of confidence that I've gained, not only academically but as a person, it's absolutely astounding. I literally went from thinking that college was an unachievable goal for me, especially after everything that happened and realizing that I wouldn't have the family help. Um, I just feel so incredibly confident in comparison to how I felt beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. And you definitely should. So you gave a little bit background of what you were up to before enrolling and what made you take the first steps to enroll. What did completing education at your own pace mean to you, and how did Ashworth help you do that?
How did completing my education at my own pace help me? Honestly, it was the only way I could do it. I mean, being a stay-at-home mom and I had to work around my daughter's schedule and everything. I mean, just the flexibility of being able to work at my own pace was a game changer. I mean, I could work as little or as much as I wanted. I mean, if I wanted to spend 8 hours a day on school, I could. If I wanted to take a month off, I had that ability. So me trying to work around not having any family help besides my amazing husband, of course, he's incredible. Besides that, I mean, having the ability to have that flexibility, I mean, it was a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you mentioned your husband. What helped you succeed in your coursework? Was it family support, friends, or thinking about your ultimate goal? Can you tell me about that?
Oh my goodness, we can't bring up my husband without me tearing up. He is he is absolutely my number one supporter, my cheerleader, my absolute best friend in life. That man is my soulmate. He is the absolute reason why I had the confidence to make that first step to enrolling in college. One, not only supporting me financially, but emotionally. My goodness, that man probably read 5 essays a week with absolute no complaints. I mean, he was my proofreader, my tutor. I mean, he helped me find online resources. He absolutely gave me the confidence and that not just a push, Autumn, he gave me an absolute shove and told me that I could do this. And he said, "Listen, I mean, whatever I need to do, whatever I need to sell, and however I can be here for you," he was there. And honestly, without his support and without the support of the school, I mean, it would have been so much harder.
I love that so much. It sounds like he was really in your corner, a real cheerleader for you.
He was my entire corner. That man is amazing.
I love that. So, Brittany, how did an education open the door for you for future opportunities?
Well, August the 30th, I began my graduate program in clinical mental health counseling, and it also has a pathway for my PhD. And I mean, they had no problem accepting my degree in full. So, because of Ashworth College, I am going to pursue my dream and become a licensed therapist, which
That's
is super
amazing.
exciting.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's great that my major was in healthcare management because within 2 years of graduating with my master's, I have the opportunity to open up my own practice as a licensed therapist or counselor. So now, I mean, I understand the ins and outs on how a healthcare facility operates. I'll have that much more confidence with owning my own business because of that. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. And I think you touched on this a little bit, but where do you hope this Graduate of the Year honor will take you?
Well, I've already been approved for several scholarships because of this distinction, and you bet I put them on every application. And I've already gotten a couple of scholarships through the military, and I applied for one through the Counselors Association. And it's so great to be able to put that on my application. And not only that, but I do have various internships in my next program, and my enrollment specialist did tell me that I could definitely put that title on all of my resumes and I would definitely stand out. So that's a thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're able to use that on your resume and helps you get your foot in the door. That's a great distinction.
That's what I'm foot and my leg in the door.
Absolutely. I want to talk about your student experience a little bit. Can you tell me about your experience navigating the student portal and how the online learning platform helped you?
How did it help me? It enabled me to get my degree. I mean, just having that online platform and having, I mean, again, I've said it a million times, just having that flexibility and the convenience of being able to do it anywhere. I mean, whenever we were traveling from Florida to Alaska, I had my studies on my phone. I mean, I was able to study anywhere that I could find Wi-Fi or internet connection. And there's, I mean, very few schools that allow you to have that kind of opportunity, and I am very grateful to have been given that opportunity, and I'm a very proud graduate of not only a self-paced school but from Ashworth College.
Absolutely. And we're so proud of you over here at Ashworth, and you're doing amazing things. And I love that you mentioned, if you were, on a long drive or traveling, you can take that with you and use your phone. That's so important, and definitely something that shouldn't be overlooked. So Brittany, how did our platform help you keep track of your studies? We have the progress bar that to let you know how far along you are in your coursework. Can you tell me, was this a motivator? Did it help you keep wanting to continue and keep going to make that bar continue to go up?
I'm laughing a little bit as you say that because I have an entire album in my phone dedicated to screenshots from the progress for all of my degrees. And every time it would bump up like 5%, I would send a screenshot to my husband. And we just had this conversation this morning, actually, before this interview. He was like, yeah, you would send me at 1%, 2%, 10%, 25%. I was like, babe, I'm at 80%. And it was just like a big game to us. And I mean, of course, he was super excited. I was excited, but that was such a great thing to be able to actually watch your progress. And like, especially whenever you see so many classes ahead of you and it seems so overwhelming, you're like, I don't have 20 classes. I'm at 50%. I got this. Like, so I will definitely say that was a huge motivator, and it definitely kept me on track for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you guys made like a game out of it, seeing how far along you are. I love that.
My husband was very involved.
Brittany, what would you say are tips for success as an online student at Ashworth College that you can give?
The biggest and best piece of advice that I can give to anybody is to not rely on motivation. Motivation dies. You have to discipline yourself and be consistent. You don't have to be extreme. Like don't try to knock out a degree in less than 2 years like I did, unless you're overzealous and school can be your hobby and you're happy with that. Be disciplined and be consistent. Even if it's just 1 or 2 days a week, just make sure that you dedicate that time. I mean, I did not want to get up at 5:30 in the morning, but within 10 or 15 minutes of sipping my coffee, I was ready to go, and I was so happy to have gotten that done, because once you've completed those assignments, you're done and you're one step closer to your degree. So, I mean, just repeat myself a little bit, discipline would be my word of advice.
Yeah, absolutely. We always say just log on, getting into
Yep.
the habit and just doing a little bit at a time.
Just
Absolutely.
Yeah. It will end.
You're proof of that.
Yeah.
So I want you to think back to how you felt when you first enrolled to where you are now as our graduate of the year. What would you say to students who may be feeling how you felt back then?
Oh, my goodness. That's an emotional one. I was so terrified, Autumn. I mean, and again, I said this previously, but my husband, he gave me that push. He believed in me before I believed in me, of course. But I was terrified and I was so intimidated. Like, college was something that I didn't think that I would be able to achieve. It's just something that I thought was way above me. And I took that first step and I enrolled, and I just did it, and I realized that not that it wasn't hard, it was difficult, it was challenging, but it's definitely not unattainable. So if it scares you, it's probably the right path. And I know that sounds crazy, but growth is uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, you're probably going the right direction. And the only thing that's holding yourself back from achieving anything that you desire is absolutely yourself. And sometimes you can motivate yourself and do it, and sometimes you need somebody like my husband to give you that shove and support. But ultimately, it's up to you to achieve that. And I would tell you that I was terrified, and now I'm sitting here being interviewed as graduate of the year. So I would say just take that leap. Just do it.
I love that advice. That's great advice. I want to ask you, what's your favorite thing about being an Ashworth College student and now graduate?
I have absolutely no student debt. And and that is an amazing feeling going into my graduate degree to have, I mean, to have my undergraduate, have my bachelor's degree. I have my bachelor's degree and I have no student debt whatsoever. And I mean, the payments were interest free. It was affordable. And I mean, I'm so incredibly excited to say that. And I'm so incredibly excited to be alumni of such an incredible school. I mean, and I've said this before, I mean, the support is absolutely unmatched. And just to have come from a school where everybody is so excited to be on the team. And I mean, student support was always uber supportive, and you can tell that they love their jobs. So not only graduating with no student debt, but also just to have come from a school with staff that's so proud to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. We love what we do over here. And I want to ask you, Brittany, one final question. How does it feel to be an Ashworth College graduate?
I have such an overwhelming sense of pride. I have honestly, it's so hard for me to put it into words, but the best way to describe it is just I am so prideful to have come from such an incredible and supportive school.
Brittany, thank you so much, and congratulations again on being our graduate of the year.
Thank you.